Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I'm so excited to be here. This is my 16th appearance at the Divorce Women Support Group. Angie has such an amazing group here. She is the admin. She works really hard on a volunteer basis to make sure that she has an amazing group. And she makes sure that she offers to you opportunities to hear from group experts, people in the field, people who have been through divorce or are working with people that have been through divorce and a variety of aspects. And each one has these beautiful nuggets of information to give you. And you've heard from several already. And here I am in front of you today. So excited to be here. There are a lot of hurting souls in this group. There absolutely are. Divorce is the most gut-wrenching thing to go through. Absolutely, unequivocally. It hits us right here, very much so. And I'm often asked because my role here in the group, I'm a volunteer moderator as well as a group expert. And my area of expertise has to deal with betrayal. I'm a certified betrayal recovery specialist. I am a relationship reset expert. And I'm often asked because I have been married for almost 35 years. Well, wait a second. You're married. How are you in this group? That's a good question, and I'm often asked it. First and foremost, Angie invited me in because she had seen my work, seen me on my YouTube channel, my Instagram account, my Medium articles, and I speak from a point of view of relationship reset. And sometimes that relationship is the one that you have with yourself. Yes, because you have already gone through a divorce, and I work with a lot of clients that have gone through divorce, usually related to betrayal, that there has been cheating, infidelity, affairs in the marriage that subsequently led to the divorce. Well, now divorced, what's next? Like, what are the next steps? And unfortunately, a lot of women find themselves in repeat patterns, and they fall into another relationship with someone else who is very similar to their spouse. Yeah, and they struggle with identity of who they are, who their partner is, the dynamics of the family. There's so many nuances, but it really starts with the relationship you have with yourself. Yes, because you need to love yourself first. You need to have the confidence to be able to step into another relationship with another person and be able to feel confident with your own abilities to see the situation for what it is, not what you want it to be. So I work with a lot of clients in that regard. So here I am in front of you to share with you today. I'm a little different than all of the other speakers today. As you saw on the roll call that I had set up, everybody's talking about a different topic, and it's so beautiful because you get this well-rounded experience. Somebody's talking about, related divorce related to your children and the financial aspects of it, and things related to holiday strategies to kind of work your way through, especially the not for nothing rude comments we get from family, especially if it's your first year. And again, with the children, who has them Christmas Eve and who has them Christmas Day and the whole handoff. And maybe your spouse has a new partner and you don't yet. And that dynamic and how that all works. And oh my gosh, there's so much pressure this time of year. But you're going to hear from others regarding that. I'm here in front of you today to more talk about what's going to happen move forward. Yes, because on the horizon after Christmas is the new year. Yes. And Are you forcing optimism? Are you pretending that you're fine? Are you rushing into goals? I have to do this and this and this and this. And are you creating checklists, endless checklists? I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do this and I have to do that. So again, so you can take a screenshot so that you know, what are you doing towards the new year? Now, with that being said, one of the most important things that I heard that was really beneficial, especially when I was going through my training, because as I went through my training, I too was a checklist person. I have to do this and I should do this and this and this and this, and I check off because that gave me a sense of certainty. Yes, and I love certainty. I love to know that this is going to happen this time, this date, when this, when that. Check, 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 check. And a brilliant mentor of mine, as I started rattling off the things that I did and that I need to do, asked a very simple type of question. It wasn't even a question, I would say, probably more of a statement, but a question. When are you going to stop doing? And I thought about that. Doing. I'm always doing because I am everything to everyone. I was everything to everyone. I was my husband's wife. I was my children's mother. I lost my identity because I was everything to everyone else. And it felt good. It did. I thought I was doing right. You know, I was career woman and mother and all of it. I was constantly doing. And then I was asked, you know, maybe stop doing. Maybe stop doing. Pause. Take a moment. Said a lot. Put on your mask first before you help other people. How about you slow it down and you stop doing? You have permission to stop doing. And the first year that I heard that, you know, I sat down at the end of the year, you know, getting ready to write out my checklists. I'm going to do my checklist. That's my ritual, you know, all the goals that I have for the next year. And at that time, it was 2016. All my goals for 2016. What am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And I heard it. I heard it in my ear, my mentor's voice. Stop doing. Stop doing. You have permission to stop doing. And that was the first year I stopped writing a list. Yeah, I still have my to-do list every single day, but I limit myself to 3 things on that list. Yeah, I do a lot more stuff. I get that. But my list, if you read Frog and Toad to your children, my list has 3 things on it at max. Sometimes it's only got 1 thing on it. Gives me a sense of accomplishment that I can scratch it off. I have done that thing. But that's it. My list isn't an ongoing list of do. I want you to give that some thought. Really give it some thought. You might think, Vanessa, oh my gosh, that's so unrealistic. I can't do that. So take 1 thing off. Next week, take another thing off. Okay? It's the same thing with self-care. Oh, you'll hear lots and lots and lots about self-care. I have people come into my office and they're like, my therapist said to, you know, for me to do self-care and do this and this and this, and they feel guilty. They feel guilty when they don't do it or when they do it. Why is it some action is designed, it's designed to make us feel guilty? And guilty is a terrible emotion to have. So don't do it. It's okay. And if you enjoy do it, absolutely do it. But don't feel that you have to do it. You understand the theme that we're going for today, right? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when we do and do and do and do, what it is it's a repetition of old patterns. Mm-hmm. Old patterns, old stories, old fears, old versions of yourself. Well, I did this last year and I did it the year before and the year before that and whatnot. And you find that traditions, especially family traditions, certain ones feel great. They do. They remind us of people that are no longer with us. Absolutely. But then there are other traditions that we don't like. Like we just don't like them. We suck it up and we do them. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay to let those things go. Absolutely, especially if they don't bring you joy. If you don't like doing them, understand the theme. Yep, do. Let it dissipate. Absolutely let it dissipate. And give some thought to your identity, who you were versus who you are. Okay, you are no longer so and so's wife. Yeah, you're so and so's ex wife, but that's not your identity. It's not. Who are you? Who are you? Think about that. Actually, write it down. Because the thing I want you to think about is what story about yourself are you going to be repeating this year? Better yet, let me rephrase it a different way. What story about yourself have you been repeating this year that you cannot bring in to 2026? Not at all. So once again, okay, what story about yourself have you been repeating this year that cannot come with you into 2026? Maybe it was, I wasn't enough. I should have seen it coming. I didn't trust myself anymore. If I were better, he wouldn't have. These are all stories we tell ourselves, and we play them on repeat over and over and over again until they become solid. And what happens is the way we feel about that story becomes the glue that holds that memory in place. And that becomes challenging. It becomes challenging to break free from that. So I really want you to think about the story that you have been replaying over and over and over again in 2025 that you are not. You're committed to not bringing that into 2026. You will not do that. You will honor yourself. Okay? Sometimes our stories become so locked in that we cannot see it from a different perspective. Even a 1 degree difference can make a world of difference in terms of change. Think of it like a kaleidoscope. Okay? Kaleidoscope. Hold it to your eye, you look through, you see a pattern. You turn it 1 degree and that pattern shifts and it changes. 1 degree and that whole pattern changes. You can do the same thing. You can absolutely do the same thing with this. Your story that you have locked into place, do you really want to have it follow you into 2026? Make a commitment to yourself. Honor yourself. Because that story that you have might have been true in the moment. Okay? It might have been true. I'm not going to discount your story. Please don't misunderstand me. I am not discounting your story. Your story is your own. Absolutely. But if you are stuck in that story, if you cannot move forward, if you have not found yourself breathing, being able to look in the mirror and love yourself, if you're stuck in your story, that's not the whole truth of who you are. Who you are. It's a moment, okay? Whether you've been married 20, 25 years or 3 years or 13 years, moment. It is not your entire lifetime. And you have an opportunity moving forward to experience all sorts of things if you are open to it. Open to it. So, how do we create room for the future? How do we create room for the future? Well, first off, it begins with clearing out the emotional clutter that's keeping you stuck. If you find that you're ruminating, you're going over and over and over the story, and you're seeing it, and it's just on repeat, a constant replay of the same thing over and over and over again, or there's a trigger point where suddenly it's right there in your face all over again. Those are hard. Triggers are hard. Absolutely. We have a visceral response. We feel it. We feel it all the way down to our bones. Why do you think the book, The Body Keeps Score is so popular? Because it's so true. We keep it. We keep it on us, in us. We have to learn. It's a learned skill. It's not going to happen overnight. And there's not going to be a grand epiphany where suddenly, poof, you are better. It's training. It is. Just because you buy the most expensive running shoes does not mean that tomorrow you can run a marathon. But I can tell you this, tomorrow you put on those shoes and you walk one foot in front of the other. Whether that's down the block, down the street, a couple of blocks, whatever it is. Whatever it is, you're doing it. So how do we create that room? How do we allow ourselves to breathe, to have those moments? A lot of it's pausing. A lot of it's taking stock. A lot of it's recognizing. A lot of it is training ourselves that our triggers don't knock us on our ass for days. Not even for a day. Not even for a couple of hours. We have to honor the trigger. Please don't misunderstand me. You're going to have triggers. If you believe that you will never have a trigger again, you're in for disappointment. I hate to say it. I am almost a decade removed from my husband saying 3 words to me, I've met someone, and my whole world shattering. Absolutely. Triggers were debilitating. Not for hours, not for days, almost for weeks. Oh, I'd be in the cesspool over and over and over. I'd have it on constant replay over and over and over again. And I needed to work with therapists and coaches and support groups to learn techniques to shorten the time span of triggers. Do I still have them? Of course I do. I'm human. Of course I'm going to have triggers. But are they going to knock me on my ass for days, for a day, for an hour? No. Nope. Nope. I've gotten the duration of time into minutes because I've trained my body, mind, and spirit to see a trigger for exactly what it is. Not what I think it is, not what I remember it to be, what it is in this present moment. Because I am not going to allow it to knock me on my ass for days, weeks. Nope. Nope. That's a commitment I have to myself. And I honor myself by doing so. So how do we clear out the clutter? Okay? We don't want to take that clutter into the new year. We don't want to take it in. Well, there are a couple of different techniques, and these are the ones that I share with my clients when they come into my office as well. It's whether it's a literal box or a figurative box. Okay? We put those things into the box. Okay? You might have several boxes. If you've ever moved, yeah, you have a lot of boxes. And the first thing you do is you put the box by the front door. It's still inside the house, but it's packed up. You packed it up nicely. Okay. The next step is to move it outside onto your deck, porch, whatever it is. Okay, it's still there. It's still kind of reminiscent. It's still got a little bit of tinges and whatnot. And then eventually you donate it. Off it goes. Okay? Mm-hmm. We need to do that both, whether figuratively or physically. Do so. Okay? If every time you look at something, it gives you a charge, a negative charge to it, why have it? I know. Somebody gave it to you. It was given on this. You then flip it and have a positive association with it. But your initial reaction to it brings up anger. You need to think about that. Maybe take a photograph of it, put that photograph into a file and tuck it away. If you want to bring it up again, you can. But it's not like it's going to pop up and show you. There are features on your phone, by the way, and Facebook, where you can disable memories. By all means, reach out to me. Be more than happy to send you instructions on how to do so. But if you feel the need to have it tucked away, not the physical item, but maybe the photograph of it, do so. To make space. Okay? This and this have a huge capacity. They do. I refer to my heart as my stitched elastic heart. It expands. It swells with pride. Most recently, I was just named the 2025 Best Relationship Coach in Westchester County. Whoosh! Oh, it swelled with pride. My daughter recently graduated not with one, but 2 master's degrees. Oof! Swelled with pride. Absolutely. But it stretches. Your heart stretches. Your mind stretches. But we can get oversaturated. Absolutely. Just taking in so much and having so much. And sometimes we need to wring it out. We need to wring it out and have it start over. And when we go through a divorce, we're starting over. We are. In my particular case, I did not get divorced, but I knew this. I was going to have a new relationship. Mm-hmm. I just decided to have it with my husband. But it's a brand new relationship. It's not the same relationship. No. Mm-mm. Nope. It says 34 years married with a big asterisk next to it. And that asterisk symbolizes, but wait, there's more to the story. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we had some tough years. We did. We had some really tough years. In my particular case, as I mentioned, I was having a new relationship. But that new relationship required that I moved all the rubble, all the devastation that my husband caused, moved it so that we could lay down new foundation. That's what you're doing. You're laying down new foundation for yourself, and you're making room. So how do we make room? As I mentioned, figuratively, you kind of start packing away the things that have that visceral response to you, that just type of thing. Mm-hmm. But then you want to make space for new opportunities, maybe even new love. Absolutely. Well, how is that going to happen if you have so much clutter going on? We're going to talk about first dates. I have a lot of women that come into my office about their first date. And even before their first date, just that initial, I'll call it flirting stage. We don't quite have that now as we used to. Before cell phones were, you saw the top of everybody's head at a gathering or so forth. But with that being said, now you meet somebody online. That's usually how it's done now. Very rarely. It's more rare to meet in public type of situation, but we have a hey, how you doing? How you doing? So forth and so on and whatnot. What women, a lot of women do that are hurting, that have not gotten the support that they need to move through all of the emotions, they dump onto an unsuspecting soul. And they give so much information and so much about what there's going on. They vomit all over the other person. And they haven't even had a first date yet. Or they've just had the first date and that was the context of the first date. No, you got to let all that stuff up and out so that when you have the first date, when you have that initial intoxication, that initial contact, it's pleasant, it's nice, it's back to flirting, the way flirting used to be. Mhm. Absolutely, because you are confident in your own skin. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Confidence is the most attractive quality. It absolutely is. Doesn't matter your age, your size, your shape. None of it matters. I'll tell you that. Confidence. A confident woman? Mm, you know it. A confident man? Even if he is 5'4", if he walks into the room commanding the room with confidence, not to be mistaken with arrogance, but confidence. Interesting. Okay, maybe I can bypass his height because the first thing I see is his confidence. Same thing for women. Letting you know that. Absolutely. That's a little secret. We'll keep it between us, okay? Absolutely. So, you want to create space in your home. Empty out a drawer. Empty out a drawer? What are you talking about? Yeah, empty out a drawer. Make a little space in the closet. Make a little space in the bathroom. Invite him in, or her, either one. Invite a potential partner in. Just figuratively to start with. Okay? But you're making space. You also have to make space here in your heart. If it's all barbed wired and cemented up, yeah, it's going to be really hard for anybody to get in. And I know that you want to be loved. We all want to be loved. And we're so hurt by our partner's actions, our ex's actions. And boy, does he have a way of pushing our buttons. Oh, yeah, I know. I hear it all the time. Absolutely. But those buttons being pushed are then triggers. We just talked about triggers and how to resolve those. Again, not going to get rid of them, but we want to shorten the duration of time that we're stuck in them. And that has a lot to do with building up our confidence in ourselves. How do we do that? We learn to trust ourselves. How do we do that? Starts with one thing. Make a commitment to yourself. Make a commitment to yourself. We talked about the list, the to-do list. Make a commitment to yourself. I'm going to whittle down this list to only 3 items. I know, it's challenging. I get it. Start with taking one thing off every single week. And before you know it, you'll get down to 3. If 3 is a comfort level for you, okay, we can honor that. Make a commitment and stick with it. Because once you commit to yourself and you honor that, that's how you build trust with yourself. And once you trust yourself, your confidence starts to emerge and people notice the confidence. And then we make room for someone else. And what we have done is we've put distance between our ex, distance between our divorce, and distance between all of the to do, or the do this, do that. It's you. And you are the most beautiful, unique creature. Shine. Get out there. Smile. Take your head out of your phone. Anytime I am outside of my office, I never have my phone in my hand. Very rarely. Very rarely. I am not one, hence the reason why most of my videos, almost all of them actually, are here in my office. I don't do videos while I'm walking around and whatnot. I want to see what's around me. I want to see the people around me. I want to smile. It's amazing to my husband when we go out to eat, the amount of people that come to our table to speak. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Complete strangers. And he's always marveled at it. He's like, what is? He's completely ignored. And he comments on it, and we have a big chuckle about it. You know, the waiter will come over to the table, would you like water? He asks me, but meanwhile, my husband's choking, none whatsoever. And my husband associates it with flirting. And no, because women do the exact same thing. Women come over to the table and they speak to me. Now, because I look around, I smile at people. I let them know, I see you. I see you. And I'll have somebody come over to the table and I'll ask about the necklace that they're wearing or the pin that they have or the earrings or their haircut or their hair color, because of course I have color in my hair, something just to let them know, hey, I see you. Do the same thing. Because what's missing now that we used to have, and this is what makes dating now so challenging, and it was a little easier before. I'm going to be cautious when I say that, but hear me out, okay? Before social media and cell phones and everything else, you were vouched for. You had your circle, your social circle in real life, and they had their social circle. So you'd see them at a party or across the quad or whatever it is, and you would ask your friends, oh, do you know him or her? And they were like, oh, and then they'd ask amongst the two groups, oh, he's kind of interested. Excuse me. And the groups would vouch for each other, for that person. So, for example, I got vouched for in my circle, and my husband, got vouched for in his circle. Now, what that does is it almost prevents me from being a bitch and him from being an asshole, because if he's an asshole and his group vouched for him, then he's ostracized from that group because they vouched for him. Same thing with me. If I was a bitch on the my group vouched for me. Do you understand that? Do you see that? Do you see how it used to be groups vouched for people within the group, and people within the group held that very dear because they didn't want to be ostracized from their own groups. Not at all, because they were vouched for. Now, you might say, oh, well, the dating apps vet people. But they're not vouching. They don't know the person. Yeah, they do a criminal background check and all this other kind of stuff, but they don't vouch for them. Why do you think the groups, the Facebook groups, Are We Dating the Same Person, are so prolific? So many members, scroll after scroll after scroll after scroll to see, who is not appropriate to be dating. Right, exactly. Because there's no filter on dating apps anymore. Nobody's vouching for. It's not a situation like on Amazon where you look at a product and you see how many reviews it has and how many stars it has and everything else. Even Google reviews. I'm so ridiculously proud of my 60 reviews, but that's my 60 reviews on my skill set. I'm ridiculously proud of that. Dating apps, as far as I know, I haven't heard otherwise, don't have that rating system for people where somebody will go in after the date and rate the date. Usually it's kind of the opposite. It's because if it's a really good date, eventually they're both no longer on the dating app because they're dating each other. But you get the idea. You definitely get the idea. So dating out there now, it's challenging. Absolutely, without a doubt. And you do need to protect yourself. You do. And what I mean by that is I have a lot of women that come to me, you know, as I mentioned, they dump everything. Well, if they learn not to do that, that's they're ahead of the game because a lot of people, both men and women, they dump everything. They feel like they can just do so, and no, it doesn't work that way. The other thing that happens is they present themselves falsely. Now, what do I mean by that? Catfishing, number one. Okay, if you have a photograph that is from 20 years ago that has so many filters on it that doesn't look like you, and then you come to the restaurant or the coffee date or whatever it is, the person you're meeting is going to be feel taken advantage of. Without a doubt, you absolutely would. So be honest. Be honest with yourself. You got wrinkles, wrinkles, wrinkles. Honor your wrinkles. You are who you are. Absolutely. And women, I run a workshop that's really very challenging because it involves honesty. It does. Be honest with yourself. If you're leading with your chest, you're going to get people that are interested in your chest. If that's what you're looking for, great. But if that's not what you're looking for, don't lead with your chest. So a lot of times I work with women with a photographer. Do you like to cook? Let's get some cooking pictures in, of you in the kitchen. What do you like? Even photographs, they say it all the time, especially for men. Photographs of men with their dogs get more engagement than without. That is a huge one. Men with dogs, letting you know that. Another little secret to let you know. Men with dogs, those profile pictures, yeah, they get more engagement. They just do. Okay? For women, the more engagement are usually the ones that lead with your chest. It is what it is. Okay? But if you don't want to be presented that way, then take different photographs. You are beautiful as you are. Showcase your beauty. Showcase your attributes, what you enjoy, what you absolutely love, what makes you you. And that'll shine through. It absolutely will. It will. I'm letting you know that I've been doing this since 2017. And so many women who've come to my workshop and are like, I don't mean to, it's not a situation, and I come from New York, so I have a New York grit to me. I am going to tell it like it is. I will. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you like it is. There's certain photographs, if, being photographed with a bottle of beer in your hand, and unless you want a drinking buddy, you might want to refrain from that. Invest in getting some beautiful photographs. Okay. After the betrayal, I didn't want my photograph taken at all. We covered every single mirror I couldn't even look at myself. It was so hard. And then it started very slowly. I had professional photographs taken. I felt awful that day. Hands down, I felt awful that day. But between the photographer and the location, and she got me to, she said something really funny and got me to smile and laugh. And she took the most amazing photographs of me that I didn't realize until we had the big reveal. I left there thinking, oh my gosh, this was such a waste of time and a waste of money. Like I wasn't into it and blah, 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 and this and that. And when she showed me the photographs, I cried because she captured something in me no filters, no nothing, but she captured my essence. And that's what you need to see. You need to see your own essence because you are beautiful just as you are. And you are unique as your fingerprint. That's you. Showcase it. Make room for that to come in. And honor yourself, trust yourself, build your confidence. Again, confidence is the most attractive quality. It absolutely it trumps everything else. Build that up because that will allow what you most crave to come in, because you've made room for it. And there it is. Absolutely. So 2026. It's right around the corner. So to recap your story, okay? Don't bring it with you into 2026. It's time to write a new one. Who are you? Who are you? And by all means, in this group, this wonderful group, introduce yourself to me. Absolutely, I'm in the group. I'm a volunteer moderator for this group. I'm also the admin of Women Healing After Betrayal. That's a very small group, purposely. It's a small, calm corner of the internet. You can post, you can just read. You can like, you can just read. You can participate, or you cannot, whatever you'd like. And it's a protected group. I'm fiercely protective of it. There is no solicitations whatsoever. Not at all. And it's just posts. No memes, no. Respects your time. It respects your feelings, how you're feeling at the moment. Eventually, because I really value Angie in this group, eventually, probably towards the end of next year, I will have something similar to this wonderful, wonderful event that Angie hosts every single month, of having guest speakers come in and speak about a topic that's close to them, that is beneficial to everyone else. And hopefully this was beneficial to you. So, as I mentioned, I am here. And if there's anything that I can do to assist you, by all means, reach out. And with that being said, I want to thank everybody for your time today. And please stick around for all of the other speakers that we have for the rest of the day. You're in for some really amazing chats and talks and workshops and things of that nature. And, drop us comments, hearts, things of that nature. Let Angie know that you really appreciate this group. Angie and the moderators work really hard to make sure that this stays a safe group. And by that being said, if there's anything that ever makes you uncomfortable, anything, if you get an unsolicited DM that you're just like, by all means, reach out to us. Let us know, report it, so that we can take action, and we take swift action. As I mentioned, both Angie, myself, and the other moderators of this group, we volunteer our time for you, because we know how important it is to have the support around you. And sometimes that support can be a big group where lots and lots of people. Sometimes it can be a smaller group where you're a little bit more self-contained. And sometimes it's a therapist, and sometimes it's a coach, absolutely. And sometimes it is your people around you. So choose wisely. Choose those that make you feel good, that fill your cup up so that it spills over, and that saucer that's filled, give it to others, because your cup is full. You. Continue to be well, and thank you again. and we'll talk next time.